Hello. So today's an exciting day because it's the day we're finally going to get something growing on the allotment. So let's go. So today I'm planting some fruit trees and I want to show you how I'm doing it. Now first of all I need to decide where these fruit trees are going to go. Now there are a few considerations to make here. Where are they going to get sunlight, and also where are they not going to shade out the rest of your growing space when they get large. So for me there's a natural place to put that, and it's at the top of the hill here, only because behind me there is a footpath and I feel like it will just give me that little bit of extra privacy when I'm on my allotment, particularly when I'm sweaty and muddy and not feeling my best and I don't particularly want to be on show. So I'm going to plant them along this fence line. That also means that if they look like they are struggling in really high winds, I can attach them to the fence just to give them that little bit of extra support. The first tree that I'm going to plant is this Cox's orange pippin, and the trees that I've got are from direct plants. They consistently provide me with really high quality, well looked after plants, and they've got a great selection of fruit trees. So if you are looking to put some fruit on your allotment or in your garden, highly recommend going and visiting direct plants. The reason I wanted a Cox's orange pippin was because my grandpa had a huge one of these in his garden, and the taste of them just reminds me of him and just reminds me of fun times when I was a kid. So let's get this one planted. Now the first thing I'm going to have to do here is obviously dig a hole, and that's the hard part around here because I have really heavy clay soil. Now most people who see this soil are surprised by the colour of it, and that's because I live in Devon, here in the southwest of the UK, and this is just the natural colour of our soil. It's very rich in iron and it contains this Devon red sandstone, but it's really heavy clay, so it's very difficult to dig. Now I'm going to dig a hole that is larger than the root ball, hopefully. I don't want to plant it too close to the fence because I want it to have space to reach its branches out, and I also want to be able to access the fruit on it as well. So I don't want to plant the trees too close together, and I don't want to plant them too close to anything else either because I want to be able to get around them. So I've dug a little bit of a hole and I'm going to just see how it sizes up with the size of the tree. So far we're a little bit bigger than the root ball. We're at about the right depth. The tree is sitting just below the surface, but that's okay, we're going to build it up slightly. But I'm going to go a little bit wider, just because otherwise the tree's going to feel slightly like it's still in a pot. So now that I've got my hole ready and it's big enough, I'm going to add a little bit of organic matter. This is just to give the trees a little bit of nutrients to get them going, and hopefully it'll just give them what they need until their roots start coming out and finding their own nutrients. So what I'm going to use is Dalefoot's double strength wool compost. Now this is really rich in nutrients, so you've got to be a little bit sparing with it and mix it into the organic matter at the bottom of the hole, just so that it's not too strong for the tree. I'm only going to use a couple of scoops. Now I'm just going to take my spade and just mix that in a little bit. So the next step is to plant the tree. I'm going to gently take it out of its pot, hopefully without damaging the top end of the tree. Now I'm just going to give the root ball a little squeeze. It's not root bound, so I don't need to open up the root ball. I'm just going to give it a little tiny squeeze, and then I'm going to put it in the hole. And I want to make sure that the tree is not underneath ground level, which it kind of is at the moment. So I'm just going to put a bit of soil back into the hole to raise the level slightly. So this mud is just so sticky, but I'm sure that the plant will like it. Clay is actually, it's a bit of a pain to work with, but it's actually a really, really nutrient rich, really good base to start on. So if you have got clay, don't despair. Okay, so that's about right now. And I'm just going to backfill. You just want to make sure that the tree is still upright and that the soil is not pushing it over to one side or the other. So just keep checking in and making sure that it's still upright. So once you've backfilled it, you're going to just heel it in, and that just involves doing that. It's easier said than done on clay, because every time I push my foot into that, it's just pulling the clay back up again. So we'll have to do it in layers, I think. I'm definitely not using the best tool for the job, but I'm just using the tool that's closest to hand at the moment. Okay, now that we've got our tree planted, I want to mulch around the base of the tree. Now I'm not going to do this really, really close to the stem. I'm going to do it in a donut shape around, and I'm going to use a different compost for this. Now here I've got some Lakeland Gold by Dalefoot. The reason I'm using this is because it's really, really good for adding structure to clay soil. Now the reason for this is because it's really rich in a polymer called lignin. Lignin is basically what gives plants their structure, so it's what makes them hard. So the harder the plant, the more lignin it's got in general. And this compost has a lot of lignin in it, and just by adding that there, I should just be able to add a little bit of structure as that lignin gets then pulled down into the soil by the life in the soil. So I'm just going to put a donut shaped ring around the base of the tree. I don't want to go too close to the trunk of the tree because I don't want to invite pests or diseases or any kind of dampness into the trunk. It needs protecting from that, so I want to make sure that it's not too deep down in the soil and I'm not mulching too close to it. So there we go, we've got our first food producing plant on the allotment. It's really exciting. So I'm going to get on and plant the other two trees that I've got. I've got a lovely conference pear and another apple tree to go up here. If you have any questions about the process, or you would like to know anything about what I'm up to at the moment, please do drop me a comment. And if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you soon. Take care, bye.